Hi guys, and welcome back to the House of Lineage. My name is Marie and Chantal has asked me to show you some of my decorations this Christmas. So in my last video I spoke about the arch, which is to the right of me, and I did promise that I would show you my room once it was complete. I'm only using my phone, guys, and I'm unable to get the whole room in one shot. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to show you the little tree that's behind me. It's not that little, actually. It looks littler than what it is. And then I'm going to take a few photographs, and then I'm going to have to do another video of the full scope of the room, just so you can actually see it. It's turned out quite beautiful, guys, a lot better than what I actually hoped it would be. Like I said in my last video, I'm normally a very traditional girl, and this room tends to be in red baubles, 10-foot tree, and all that Christmas stuff. But this year I've gone with a winter wonderland theme, and I wanted to go with flocking. I'd never had flocking before. I thought it would be something different. And I've gone for heavily flocking because flocking comes in all different types. You can get it lightly sprinkled, you can get the snow spray out, which gives it just a shiny effect, but I've gone for heavy flocking. The arch is not as heavily flocked as what the tree is behind me, or the garland that's on the mantelpiece in front of me, and I'll show you that in another video. I want to take a video so you can see the whole thing. I have tried to turn the camera around. I've done a couple of pre-runs first to see what I could actually get in, and you can't really, you can't get how it looks, and it is beautiful. So I'm going to talk. It's going to be a really quick video, guys, and I'm going to talk about the tree that's behind me. It's 6 foot. It's a half tree, as you can see. It stands at 6 foot. It was £55 from Argos, and it is a hinged tree, meaning that when you put it together, the branches just fall open and then you move them around. It does look quite sparse, although it's not that sparse. It is what it is for £55. It stood in front of my bay windows, and my bay windows are quite big, and it reaches just above, as you can see, my half window, so it actually looks bigger than what it is. It has 300 tips on it, and it's around about 73 inches tall. Now, if we go on to the sturdiness of it, it's not that sturdy. It's very light. In fact, you could call it very flimsy. The base, it comes in 3 parts. You get the base, you screw the tall bit into the base and the trunk, and then you screw the tree into the trunk, and like I said, then it all falls. It doesn't come pre-lit. They're actually, I've got 100 lights on them. I didn't want to overload it with lights. I've got a few baubles going on there, which I was hoping just to keep to the flocking without the baubles, but I've decided to chuck a few baubles on. You can't really see it in the video. I am going to take some photographs so you can see it closer up. It is a lovely little tree. On the whole, for £55, this is a lovely tree, and I'm very pleased with it. However, if you have children, this is not the tree for you. And like I said, it is very flimsy. It's very light. A puff of wind will blow this over, and I worry about the children. One crawl, you'll turn your back for 5 minutes with any child. I mean, even if the child, I have 3 grandchildren, and they range from 1 all the way to 5, and even my five-year-old would actually toddle over there now, and he'd want to have a look at the pretty things. It's coming down on him if he touches a bauble. It's not going to take much. I have it stood on a rope, so obviously that doesn't make it as stable as what it should be. But guys, this is not going to be that stable. I wouldn't recommend it for children. Adults, if you live on your own, that's perfect. And certainly if you've not got a cat, because that tree is coming down with a cat. If you've got a boisterous dog that wants to paw at it, looking for the chocolates. I only have a little, very small doggy. Mine would be sniffing around it. However, she doesn't jump up at anything, so she wouldn't be pulling this down. But a larger doggy, a more boisterous doggy would. And like I said, a cat definitely would be bringing this tree down. But on the whole, it is a lovely tree, and it does go with the theme of my room perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And that's all I've really got to say about this tree, guys. Like I said, it's going to be a really quick video. If we look down, what stood next to it, in case anybody interested, is one of these. I always call them a mortician chair. It's made of wicker, it's high backed, it's more of a Queen Anne style, and it's absolutely lovely. It's a lot of years old. It's been in my parents' house for a long time. I do believe it might have been bought for one of my sisters. Over it I've threw some cushions. Um, there's some tie backs that's hanging over. I've hung a Christmas bauble over, and the throw that you see that's hung over it, that is actually homemade by the House of Lineage. Yes, the House of Lineage do create their own gifts and things like that as well. And if we go down below, we have this wreath. This wreath is, I'm going to tip the camera a bit, guys. This wreath here is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. It was bought from a place called Inspirations in Liverpool. If you've never gone, guys, it's worth a trip. It was about 2.5 hours, 3 hours from where we live. We live at the north of England. Inspirations is quite away from it. But yeah, it's great. I mean, if you live somewhere like Blackpool, you're an hour out maybe. It's smashing, but it's a huge place. It's absolutely beautiful, and it sells some really beautiful things. It's not that bad in price, neither. I believe that wreath, I think it might have been about £35. And we might think that's a bit much for a wreath, but it's not, guys. It's lovely. It also has its own wreath making little shop, so you can go in and you can pick all the flowers you want, and they will make you the wreaths. This wreath was already made up. I just picked it up from the side, and they were going like hotcakes. They were selling that quick. I do believe I got the last one. I would have liked to. I went with Chantel actually, and yeah, I think it was Chantel that got this wreath, let's be honest. And I wanted it. I set my heart on it, and she gave me it. And the little poofy that's down below, I'll just tip this a little bit further so you can see the little poofy down below. That came from H&M, and it was £20. And it is beautiful. For £20, that little poofy is absolutely beautiful. It's made of thick rope intertwined, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, guys, there's not much I can really say. The cushion at the back with the stag on, that came from the range. I absolutely adore the range, but there's not a lot I can buy in the range that goes with my home, because I'm a very traditional person. And like I said, I mentioned in my last video, I have a Victorian home. But when things come up in the range that look unusual or that I can place in my home, I buy for it. But I love the range. I love going to the range. I love walking around the range. It's really good value for money and sells beautiful things. If I had a modern day home, a new build, a new house, oh guys, I could spend a fortune. They also have a cafe in there which I can spend any amount of hours in. I live between two ranges where I live. One's a lot bigger than the other, but I just love the range. I really do. Obviously, the next door to Homebargains, B&M, always a bad thing, isn't it, guys? Especially at Christmas. You go in maybe, I don't know, for a box of soap powder, and you end up coming out with everything but the box of soap powder. And that's exactly for me. Yeah, as you can see behind me, if you're wondering what's behind me, I'll just explain that. That is obviously a 1970s telephone table, or it was a 1970s telephone table. I took the top of it. I haven't sanded it down. I've left it exactly the colour as it is because I like it. I really like it. I bought some foam. I had to completely strip the top, so I bought some new foam. I recovered it. It has a magazine, an old magazine, underneath a rack. That's how they used to come in England. I've left that in place. I was going to take the whole thing off, so it just stood on legs, so it was a stool. But I decided I liked the underneath, so I left it. I was going to sand it all down and give it a paint job. I'm still thinking about doing that. Um, but I just like the beauty of it the way it is. I like all things. It doesn't exactly go with this room, but it does not go with this room. And the cushions again were made from the house of Lineage, and they match the foamy top. There's two cushions on top of that, you can't see them, but again they came from the range. And there's actually a throw, a very large throw that's folded on the top, and that once again was made by the house of Lineage. And that's it, guys. There's not a lot else I can say. But thank you for coming back to the video. Please subscribe if you already haven't. Thumbs up or thumbs down. And yeah, I'm hoping to see you soon, very soon, because I do want to show you the garland behind me because it's beautiful, and I have a light garland that's behind me. I also have a few other things that I'd bought from Inspirations in Liverpool, and I really need to show you those because they're very nice. Anyway, have a good day, guys. Thank you, and bye.